can start our weekly MSI meeting. And actually today, the only item we have in our agenda is our regression status, and several people will share our regression status. And today, actually this week spent mostly on the preparation for entering to the regression. As probably as you heard on today, actually on Friday, we are going to publish our first package of Magento 2.3.0 beta, and along with that, we are going to publish first packages of Magento Milestone 2. So that's going to be beta 2 for MSI. And now we are working on a package preparation. And actually, Volodymyr can share a little bit more about this process. But firstly, let's start from some graphics, and I will show what actually gonna be released in the scope of Magento MSI Milestone 2. So on the MSI roadmap page, you can see actually all the features which we released in the Milestone 1 as well as Milestone 2. And as a product backlog for Milestone 2, we took several stories. Some of them were finished and others were postponed till Milestone 3. So we are going to release, and these are features which currently merge into MSI mainline: support of negative thresholds for backorder functionality, mass inventory action for migration, especially useful for migration of default between the single stock mode and multi-stock mode. And actually, mass inventory action happens using bulk API, which were implemented on other community engineering project, heading by Alex Lezun. And on a previous demo, the rig actually demonstrated how can be a lot of source item can be easily migrated totally asynchronously using RabbitMQ under the hood, and how this happen fastly, not blocking the UI, working like a charm. And another feature, the support of the group product for multi-source inventory. These three features are implemented and got to the scope of the regression of MSI with Magento 2.3.0. Two stories which we were working on for quite a long time, actually adaptation of inventory configuration, both source and stock. It was decided to postpone implementation of this story because, as you can see, we have a pretty big chunk of work done, which actually includes a lot of changes, like 7,000 of code lines to be changed. But actually, the main fear, not the amount of code which was affected, but actually the number of scenarios, and we probably would be unable to stabilize the work of Magento with these changes. So it was decided to postpone this feature till next patch release, till next beta release of Magento MSI. So we are releasing Milestone 2 of MSI with this three big feature and quite a lot of small bug fixes, which we are still working on. So actually, this is a scope of regression, and probably Mark can tell a little bit more about reprioritization he has done for the scenarios which were created by Slava. So we have about 500 test scenarios, and recently we made the reprioritization to increase our automation test coverage. Mark, would you like to say several words about the reprioritization? How many PO and P1 scenarios now we have?
Sure. So I'd have to pull up the exact total here. Let me do that while I'm talking. But yeah, I went through all of those. It's around 400 to 500 scenarios, and put them between S0 to S3 to give us a sense of which ones we need to work on in the correct order. And let's see if I can get the summary here. So it looks now we have S0. Actually, let me go ahead and share my screen here so everyone can see. So here's the just ranked by severity. So we have 187 that are S0, 165 S1, 92 S3 and 8, sorry, S2 and 8 that are S3. So this pie chart here covers all of the ones, including tests that have already been automated. So we don't have 452 remaining, but you can see the distribution across the priorities here.
Cool. So, and according to the initial agreement, we need to provide automated test coverage for SO and S1 scenarios.
Yes.
So currently we have a little bit more than 1/3 of all the scenarios covered.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we see that exactly on this page, but
I see the automated total scenario. Total scenarios automated 145, and
yeah.
I see that 120 of them are.
Please note on the automated test, the 145, that includes the ready for development. Those are tests that have not been automated. They just have corresponding stories in GitHub.
Yeah, cool.
So the actual automation status is 120.
Or 124, pretty much 4 we're waiting on. So
yeah, 4. As soon as we're done with our part, we're gonna work on that PR.
So we are pretty close to a half of scenarios be uncovered.
Yes.
Yeah, that's much better than 1/3 actually.
That's true.
Okay, so also along with that, we prepared environment on cloud because all the regression and should be started on cloud. And today, actually, we deploy this environment in cloud and try to run this environment. And currently, we stuck with a blocker, which prevent us to make regression on cloud now. We are trying to fix this blocker. Actually, the root cause of the blocker issue for us is infrastructural changes. Actually, we don't have permissions granted for MySQL user we are working on, and now we are resolving this issue. Vladimir Kublitsky can tell a little bit more about packaging and how it's gonna be done during this day, and how the package is gonna be released. Vladimir. He probably disconnected. Volodya, can you hear us?
Hi, do you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. For previous regression cycle, we created all the packages in half manual approach. For this regression, we prepared together with Magento DevOps teams. We prepared special Jenkins build that automate all the stages of creation composer packages and deployments of them to the public composer repository. And we are finalize the last checks on our staging environment and going to publish this these composer packages as soon as we'll confirm verify that everything works fine. So hopefully it will be very soon. And having these automation builds allow us also move more fastly in the future. So we'll have more strict and predictable procedure to have releases in the future.
Thank you, Volodya. The next one gonna be guys from automation team who will show you the update regarding our automated test, especially MFTF test. And I believe John will start his update.
Okay, everyone hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. I started sharing my screen before I unmuted myself, so I had to find the button. Awesome. So yes, this week we've been working on basically reverting all of the skipped changes that we did last week to stabilize our builds. So we've been focusing on unskipping a test at a time and trying to keep the actual build stable and resolving any other issues that have popped up. This is the story we've been kind of bucketing everything under, so we have one place to actually look for all of our work. In the latest PR that Alex was referencing here, 1642, we currently still have 7 skipped tests for MSI specifically. And then we have this list of 6 tests here that are compatibility issues when we run with MSI multi-mode enabled with other tests from core Magento. So we've been focusing on getting all of the MSI ones unskipped. These are the ones that we have remaining. This list isn't 100% accurate right now because we have a few PRs in progress that we're going to try to get merged today. So when they all come together, we should have a green build. The 5 tests for B2B, we didn't explicitly skip these because they were just having a isolation and compatibility issue with B2B, but I did create an actual merge file to update them, and I can show you the latest build that I have for B2B. Normally we have 7 here in multi-mode. Again, we have multiple PRs that are going to be addressing this. This PR is specifically for B2B. And as you see, we only have these 2 tests remaining. So we are making progress and headway on getting our tests actually unskipped and dwindling this list down. Now the ones where we have to actually do merge files for other repos, those will take a bit of time to get it all synced up to those projects. But once we have all sides synced up, we have B2B, we have EE, everyone, all their changes pushed, we should have a green build on all sides. Alex can speak more about what he actually was working on this week with suite updates. Yeah, that's what I have from my side for now.
Yes, I mostly was working on stabilizing MSI test suite this week. Let me show my screen. I will show you one more time boring builds. Nobody interested in. Here we can see Magento mainline build, which includes 2.3 develop branch MSI and 2.3.0 release branch, Magento branch. So we have here all MSI tests green, which are unskipped eventually. The previous Friday we had 27 tests skipped here on MSI multi-mode. So as you can see, we're really dropping this number. We will work harder to get rid of this number at all. Also, what I did before every suite, MSI test suite, I create a database backup. Then when suite is finished and all MSI tests are finished, I'm applying this backup with the clean Magento to Magento, and basically after suite we have the same Magento without any configuration, any entities after MSI suite finished. It allows us to reuse these Magento entities to different tests, which sometimes failed because we had multi-mode enabled, and we tried to fix it in concrete tests, but we failed because the order of tests always changes. So if somebody will add one more test to list, to Magento, to MSI, anywhere, the order of these tests will be changed. So we cannot predict it. So I decided to do it this way when we have a suite which isolates all these tests from other types of tests. So that's what helped us to stabilize MSI tests and make them available for everybody to use in Magento Core and for you guys. I'm working also on make some changes for MTF tests. I don't have much yet to share because mostly I was working on MFTF tests. Probably next week I will share more about MTF tests. Also about sample data tests, I talked yesterday one more time with DevOps team. I explained them why we need to increase Selenium timeout. So they now understand what is going on, why we need to increase this number, and tasks they have from today is in progress, and I believe they will deliver this as soon as possible. This is probably it from my side. Any questions?
Cool. Thank you, Alex. That's really great to see almost green build.
It is green from our side. That's unstable test we have from Magento Core.
Good. Thank you. And actually, last but not least, gonna be our community here who help us, especially this week, who was with us 24/7 for last 5 days, fixing enormous amount of bugs which will prevented us from starting the regression. Ladies and gentlemen, Zerik.
I was sure we're talking about someone else, actually. Thanks. So, well, actually, just a bunch of bugs, just 2 bugs. So thank you for your words, but actually I did very few things. Well, I'm going to share my screen. Let me desktop 3, too many desktops here. Okay, you should see my screen. We found, during these last days, we finished working on the async mass actions, as Igor said before, and we fixed a couple of issues there because we discovered basically that we were not able to automatically align, for example, the low stock notification configuration and so on. So most of my time was fixed that issue. That should be, let me check, pull requests. Oops. That is okay. So basically, we found that there was a foreign key between the source item and the low stock notification. And this foreign key was basically causing a lot of issues to us because when we transfer, for example, the inventory, we unassign the product from previous source, then we assign to another source. And when we do this, if we have a foreign key, basically we have a problem because the old association is gone, so we do not know anymore about the old configuration. So with Igor, we decided to drop this foreign key and to keep a consistency based on basically a plugin on the source item delete that is taking care of keeping the low stock notification table clean. So basically we moved from one database consistency to an application consistency. That I think also helps us to avoid this kind of hard dependency based on DB. This was the first one. Then we discovered, actually just for a chance, because Igor basically discovered that there was a problem while running the source selection algorithm, because he found that basically the source selection algorithm was losing the fractional part when you order basically one product with a decimal quantity. But we discovered that it was a much bigger issue, because we discovered that you could add, I have a working installation here, I want to show you. Basically, if you have an MSI, a clean MSI, and you have a product that is not configured to low decimal quantities, you can always add a decimal quantity. That is quite annoying because it can create several inconsistencies. So we get two solutions here, because we discovered that basically the problem was that MSI was pluginizing the one of the classes that were converting the decimal part to an integer part. So we had two options to fix that class by, for example, saying that you must cast to int when you select a decimal quantity. But at the end, we decided to go for another way. So adding one new check in the validation chain. That probably is the more appropriate way for the MSI. So basically now, if you have this patch and you want to add a decimal part, basically you get an error. And and I think it's basically everything I did in this last days. I still have other small bugs I fixed today. For example, this one, because we discovered that we get this kind of UI problem, but it's just a small fix. But we also have this kind of fix. And I think it's almost what I did.
It was awesome. And I just want to say one more time how we thankful to you for your help, because without you probably we would be unable to come to the state when we are ready to start our regression. And now we are making a little bit more happy Max and the other guys who are on the call, and also guys who are going to start using, and early adopters of Magento 2.3.0 with MSI, because we would be able to build packages without these critical issues which were there before you put your hands dirty into our code base.
Yeah, and just like to add, I get inquiries from customers if not each day, definitely every week, that are asking, how quickly they can get this. Can they start their projects on MSI? So there's a lot of interest out there.
Cool. That's really glad to hear it. That's actually probably all regarding our weekly status. Maybe Mark, you have some questions?
No, I don't. But now that I'm back for Lori, so I will be getting to edit your documentation that you've worked so hard on soon. So that's what I'll be focusing on shortly.
Awesome. I'll make sure to get you an updated file today.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, guys. So thank you for your time, and see you in a week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.